also, so well done. Lee's going to present to you about what he does at Microsoft, so I encourage you to ask lots of questions. Thanks to kind of CGC, engaging, organising this. There'll be some drinks and some food at the end.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Jeremy Cook and I chair Games Eden. Games Eden is the game development networking group here in Cambridge. We basically represent the large studios, so Jagex, Ninja, Ski, Frontier, all members of Games Eden. We have two big events, Brains Eden, which is a 48-hour games jam, which is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. A lot of people from Jagex were at the last one. It runs this year from the 28th of June to the 1st of July. We're going to have about 120 students. We're trying to bring the brightest students from around the world, eventually. For now, it's UK and Europe. And then be about 120 students. It's being sponsored by our chums at ARM, which is brilliant, and BAFTA are going to be there as well, so it's sort of getting more interesting. A lot of you were at the Christmas quiz, and we have a couple of social events. Cambridge Game Creators, that's Ramin. He's looking after more individual creativity than big corporate stuff, but I'll let him tell you more about Cambridge Game Creators, and that's it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us today. Yes, I'll have to first probably thank Jagex, Colin, Microsoft for joining us, and Jeremy for helping us really organize this. I would have struggled to find a good enough venue as well, which is great. These guys are helping us. And thanks everybody for coming, because the weather is not very good outside and a lot of people actually dropped out last minute. And I'm actually glad to see Jagex's new building. I heard a lot about this building, so it's good to meet you guys. I just have a couple of quick announcements before moving on to Lee's presentation. Yeah, so I just, you've already heard or you've already read about us. We are a community. We try to have monthly events. You know, if you're an indie developer, if you have an interest in games, graphics, different areas, different applications of graphics, you can join us. It's free to join. All our events are free, or at least fortunately have been free so far. They do have costs, of course, but we have these generous sponsors or supporters who are helping us. For example, Jagex today is allowing us to use this venue, which is quite nice. So yeah, we've managed to keep everything free so far, which is quite good. And last November we reached 100 members. We're already about 136 or something, so it's quite a good growth actually. I wasn't expecting even 100 people, because Cambridge, although we have a few very good game companies, there are, it doesn't look like there are so many indie developers. And quite frankly, I'm very happy with the numbers, and we are celebrating actually the drinks that are provided by Jagex and Games Eden today. They are because of this, growth, and we don't need to basically shut down everything because there is interest, and a few people, including Tindy here, are helping me as well, which is really good. And also, I'd like to emphasize that this is not just programming. It's a community of anyone with an interest in graphics. It can be visualization, arts, design, programming, anything. And this is something I wanted to mention. If you're a member of Cambridge Game Creators and you have a product or a game that you want to demonstrate to the world out there, one way is to have an event with us. The other way is we're trying to have a stand-in Develop Brighton this year. This is actually, I think, quite exciting if you manage to pull it quite well, because it gives everybody a chance to demonstrate their maybe indie games or smaller products, through us, without having to actually spend more than £3,000 just on getting a booth. So please do contact us if you're interested in doing that. Because we have members from big companies as well. They wouldn't want to do this. So this is mainly for the smaller developers. Our next event is going to be presented by one of our members next month. His name is Connor. He's not with us tonight. And he'll be talking about how he used Adobe products to make his games and publish it on various different platforms. So if you're interested in that, you can join us. And the last slide, I won't keep you much longer. We're going to have meetings amongst those who are helping me organize these on the 5th of February next month. So that will not be an event like this, it will be just a few people getting together to see how they can move our community forward. So please, again, if you're interested in helping us, you can keep in touch through the portal, which is on meetup.com at the moment. And in March, we have an event, which I'm not going to announce the details of it right now. It will be, again, for artists or those who are interested in creative industries. And the title will be something along the lines of running a business or a successful business in the creative industries. And you will get, if you're a member of Cambridge Game Creators Portal, you will get all the updates. So, with that in mind, let's welcome Lee from Microsoft. Thanks very much, Lee.
Right, so I'm Lee Stott from Microsoft. So, the purpose of here today really is to give you an introduction into gaming on our new platforms, so Windows Phone and Windows 8 primarily. Ramin asked for me to sort of skew this more to phone, so hopefully that's okay for everybody. It's going to take about an hour. It's going to be very much a high level. I'm happy to go into detail. I've got lots of appendix slides because I know there might be techies in the room, so I'm happy to go into some more detail. Again, happy to take questions throughout. This is being recorded for the Jagex teams internally and for the Cambridge Gaming Network, so I would prefer to do the question at the end just to keep it flowing. So if you do have a question, make a note of it, just so it is better for the recordings. I think it is better for the recordings. Key things I want to understand from you is, where do you come from? How many designers do we have in the room? Anybody doing design at the moment? So feel there is a designer. Any artists? Programmers and everybody else? Whew. Anybody who's not a programmer, designer, or an artist? So presuming you're IT tech, infrastructure, systems people. Alright, cool. So I've got a bit for everybody, which is good news. So next question is, who has Windows 8 or Windows Phone or has played with either of those platforms? Okay, so there's a few people have used it. So how many have you actually built for those platforms? Whether it's 7.5, whether it's 7.8, whether it's 8. In terms of phone, Windows 8, anybody built for Windows 8? One person. Yeah? No? One person, okay. So this is all going to be pretty much new stuff to you all, which is good. So hopefully everybody will learn something from tonight. So if we start off, this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about what is new in Windows, so the new RT and new API layers. We're going to talk about the application development models. So this is a real big change, especially for those who have played with Windows Phone 7, because Windows Phone 8 offers so much more opportunity, especially on the gaming front, which hopefully everybody's here to build games. Is everybody here to build games? Okay. We're going to look at the different supported application models. We're going to look at how to get started with the gaming environment. So, using Visual Studio, having a developer account. How do I get a developer account? How much does it cost me to get a developer account? We're then going to look at, different overviews of how those tools are used and what they can be used for. And I'll talk a bit about Xbox and the gaming experience. And anybody heard of Smart Glass? So we'll go a bit into that as well. So to give you a bit of an overview of how we believe Windows 8 and Windows Phone and Xbox are going to really change the face of gaming and how, today's culture will consume content. How many of you got kids under 11 in the room? How many of those kids have an Xbox and a gaming account? Okay. You live in my world. So, and this is the opportunity now with mobile devices and that joined up experience. So we've made a massive investment in terms of change. So let's get started. So, why Windows? So there's currently over 1 billion copies of Windows out there. And that's Windows in XP, ME, 95, blah, blah, blah. Lots and lots of copies out there. So it's the biggest operating system. In terms of Windows 7, 690 million licenses are out there. It's a huge, huge user base. You're probably already building games either on Steam or Win32 games for these consumers or web-based games. We're in Jagex. They have a massive online community. A big number of those, I presume, are going to be PC users. You know the demographics of your user base, I don't. You know, so you've got a big user base out there. In terms of Windows 8, we launched in October, so this is released. We've got 60 million licenses out there. And these are licenses that have either been sold from upgrade or from purchase online. So this isn't new kit. This is what is out there new, you know, as an existing user base or an upgrade user base. We launched a brand new app store. We've had 100 million downloads of apps. We've got some UK games in there that have had hundreds of thousands of downloads already, hundreds of thousands. So we've got the biggest growing app store. We're going about 10,000 apps a week. Gaming is the biggest category. Gaming is the biggest category for any app store. I don't know if you all know that, but this is the demographics of an app store for gaming. So gaming is the biggest number of apps, it's the biggest revenue growth. It creates the most revenue for a developer. Again, with the platform, you've got the opportunity of freemium, premium, in-app purchase. And that's across phone and across Windows 8 now. So it's giving that person the opportunity to either download it for free, pay for extras, which we know is a massive money earning, and it's a great opportunity to develop. You know, how much does it cost you to build a database with a line in it which says token, 1,000 tokens, £7.99, 10,000 tokens, £29.99. Amount of development work is minimal. So in terms of Windows 8, what does Windows 8 offer? You know, key things are, it's any device. So we've got to be able to support Windows 8 and all that kit that supported Windows 7. So basically a gig processor, a gig of memory. Your games have to support keyboard, touch and mouse. You know, so we're not discounting any of the ecosystem. It doesn't matter if you're a PC user, an all-in-one user, a laptop user, a Slate user, it has to support all those different interactions. Again, it could be an RT device like these Surfaces, or it could be an Intel system on a chip, or it could be a liquid-cooled 8-core Xeon with 32 gig of memory with nice pink blue neons on it. So we have to support everything. As developers, you need to be able to support everything. So that's why we've changed the whole infrastructure of Windows. In terms of Windows 8 and phone, you know, we've got these lovely devices. So, I don't know, has anybody played with one of these new devices yet? Very nice. They are nice, I have to be honest. So, you know, we've actually said to all these different vendors, there's a minimum spec. You know, so we're not like Apple, we don't have a controlled ecosystem. We don't build hardware apart from Surface. We're not building phones, but we have an ecosystem out there that we're saying to them, you need to provide these limitations. We set the amount of CPU, we set the amount of memory, we set the functionality of the device, what services it has, what billion chipsets it has. And it's down to the vendors now to really compete against Apple and against Samsung and Galaxy. You know, the Galaxy 3S is outselling everything out there. Was it 10 million units a month at the moment? It's a beautiful device. You know, we've got the Samsung Active S, which is a really, really nice device. And it's made by Samsung, so there's no, you know, there's no issues from their perspective. They want to be the biggest volume shipper of hardware. They've got a great opportunity in terms of the Windows platform. Again, Nokia got great opportunities. And HTC have got some really nice devices as well. So, from a development perspective, we've got all these boys helping us as well. So all the third-party framework engines that you're used to working as a game developer all now support Windows 8. So if you're an existing 7.5 developer or Windows Phone developer using XNA or an Xbox developer, anybody an Xbox developer? Do you know how many games are being submitted a week at the moment through Indie Channel? Anybody want a guess? Any guesses? Come on, have a guess.
3,000.
Lower than that. 1,265 with this week's number. The games produced on XNA going into Xbox Indie. So we know we've got a massive community out there. To take an Xbox game to Windows Phone, what do you have to do? Go into Visual Studio and you click one button, convert to phone. Build you a phone game. So we know that's an active user base. We don't want to kill that user base, but we know XNA doesn't have a life. You know, we're quite honest about that. As Windows, we've said XNA is transitioning. We're telling everybody to start building on C++ and DirectX 11.1. But on Phone 8, we're also supporting XNA. For Windows 8, you can use a product called MonoGame. So you can take your existing XNA assets, wrap them using MonoGame, which is an open source community. We've got Microsoft involvement, Xamarin involvement. Lots of big companies are involved in this open source project. And you can wrap your asset and make it available on Windows 8, Android, iOS, any other product. So as a developer, you become a mobile developer. And that's my biggest message to everybody, is that if you're a true mobile developer, you're not just an iOS dev, you're not just an Android dev, you build for every platform, because you cannot control what device your consumer buys. And you know, how often do you change your mobile? I change mine about every 3 weeks. But you know, realistically, the average person changes the mobile every 6 to 12 months. And what makes them change? It's contract driven, price point driven. Lots of people now getting app loyalty because they've made that investment in the platform. But new devices will always create that next change. Again, Unity. Who's a Unity developer? So Unity is available on the Windows Phone and Windows 8. So you can take your existing Unity games and port them directly over. Game Maker. Anybody building any HTML5 stuff? Game Maker Construct 2. You can use those products and build Windows 8 or Windows Phone games automatically using their products. So lots and lots of opportunity there. Lots of different frameworks, lots of different tool sets, all being supported. In terms of the phone, as I was saying before, we had to go out to all these different vendors and make sure that, you know, as an end user, that experience wasn't going to be impacted. So we set these minimum specifications. So Windows Phone now supports multiple cores. We're supporting up to 32 cores on any device at the moment for phone. People say, oh, that's quite a lot. I'm not going to tell you how many cores they've got on a 3-inch piece of silicon, but it's quite impressive. You know, phones are going to advance. You're going to be walking around with devices that are going to have potentially thousands of cores in the next few years. You know, the technology is there today, it's just getting that price point right. So, you know, so we said, as an investment, we need to support these core sets. Again, everything has to have a GPU built in. Everything has to have that minimum specification in memory, and screen size and resolution. So as a consumer, you can have guarantee that you can download this app and it will work. Who has an Android device? Can you guarantee an app will work on your device? They don't have that market set yet, and that's what Android, you know, Google have made a really good statement with the Nexus 7. They've brought out a superb device, it's beautiful, and they brought out Google Play. And when you buy that device, you need a Google account, and that's, you know, it's created this managed store layout, which will hopefully transition their user base up the stack to a manageable platform. You know, so it's a really nice move. It's something that needed to be done. I think as a developer, everybody's been screaming for it because, you know, he wants to develop 26 devices. I've tried, it's horrible. And you can't say your app only works on this version. So in terms of devices, you know, devices have changed. Who's bought a PC in the last few months? I've gone to look at the new devices. So, you know, there's so much choice out there for consumers. You've got these tent stands and the yoga, which folds all the way around itself. You've got hybrid devices, which the screens detach. You've got these lovely ultrabooks. You've got new Surface devices. You know, this is a real change to the consumer landscape and the way people are interacting with devices. You know, I think about 18 months ago, it was like, you know, touch is never going to work. Touch is never going to work. But today, touch seems to be everywhere. My youngest is 6, and he says he said to me one day, he said, Dad, the TV's broken in my room. I went, why? He says, if I touch it, doesn't work. And I just, what have I done? You know, but this is the society they're growing up in. You know, they've got iPads at school, they've got these big smart screens. They're used to this touch society, and you know, do you have to tell them how to use these devices? It's just so intuitive. They just pick them up and use them, you know. I can remember, you know, I think we all can remember being kids and having to read these instruction manuals to play a game. How many of you now produce an instruction manual? How many of you ever read an instruction manual? You know, society is changing. The way we're using these devices is really changing. It's very much more intuitive. And again, people want that intuitiveness across all the devices. They want to log into this PC and log into that PC and log into that phone and have the same content. They want it to be personalised to them, so you know, it's their background, it's their pictures of their kids, it's their holiday, you know. It's about them rather than the technology. And this is what we've done with Windows 8. The technology is just there. Yes, it needs to look beautiful because it's going to be in your lounge, or it's going to be in your dining room, and you're going to be walking around there. But the most important thing is the content and the way it's displayed to that end user. It's appropriate. It's how they want it to be displayed. Again, we've got this shared core, but the most important message is it's not a shared core. Okay? The underlying infrastructure is there in terms of the RT layer, so the API stack. But there is significant nuances between those different stacks because you're looking at different form factors of devices. So number one, different screen resolutions, different input controls. You know, on a phone, you're never going to get a keyboard and a mouse. You might do, but you know, generally you don't. But, so you know, you've got to think about this. And again, you know, there's real special features into those API sets. So if you look at the way people interact with mobile devices, now you know speech is becoming very much more predominant in the way people use the devices. And you can actually attach your phone potentially to more different technologies. You know, when they walk into a car, the phone automatically connects to the car, it syncs the database, it syncs their email, it has a built-in office into the system. So the devices are being used in different ways, so we have to build new API sets into those different device layers. But as a fundamental thing, the shared code base still exists. If you're building a C++ for the Windows 8 device, the C++ you've built and the frameworks and the libraries all work on a phone device. So you can write native and manage code. So let's look at the different nuances. So we'll start with Windows 8. So the Windows 8 has a new runtime called WinRT. That's not to be confused with our ARM devices. So our ARM devices are called Windows RT. They still run the WinRT runtime, but they're a different device. So we have Windows RT, ARM, Windows 8 is Intel. So we'll start off with the Core OS. So this is where most of you are today. So we've got a Core OS, and you have your traditional desktop apps. And they're built in either HTML5, JavaScript, it's a web app, your standard C#, your .NET environments, and then your VB, your Win32 apps are there. So everybody's used to that environment. It works under Windows 7 today. It works on Windows 8 now. Because we've got to support those thousands of apps that are out there in the enterprise. You know, enterprises aren't going to automatically overnight upgrade their entire Oracle infrastructure. We know that's not going to change, so we have to carry on supporting them. But what we've done is build this new stack under the WinRT APIs. And on top of that, we've then layered a brand new development layer. So now we support C, C++, all the .NET languages, and XAML, and DirectX and C++. So they're the viewing layers. And then we have a new style and extra style app, so Windows 8 style apps. So this is a brand new, different app. Big benefit to this is you actually can have a hybrid environment, so use mixed code base. So for example, you could have a HTML-based app, which is a native desktop app, it's using the WinRT API. So it's drawing into the graphics layer, it's using the communication devices on the machine, such as the camera or the network stack. But then have C++ libraries being called. Or using third-party frameworks like Unity or Marmalade or Construct. So it gives you as a developer this massive opportunity because you're not having to relearn new skill sets. And if you're building apps across platforms, you're going to have some code that is native somewhere. You're going to have some C++ or some C, which you can use in your Android and in your iOS development. So it's a huge opportunity. Again, we have the entire API layer, so we've got the fundamentals at the bottom. And you know, this is where we're going back to the Windows roots. You know, we're building secure devices that can be managed in the enterprise. So we've got things like cryptography, we've got BitLocker, we've got authentication, we've got user controls, globalization, then the communications and data layer. All these different devices have different sorts of communications built into them now, so it's from networks all the way through to microphones and devices inside them. And then we've got the user interface. Again, you know, this is a real device, so you can print directly from it natively. It's got accessibility in there. Again, all APIs, they've all got a namespace, you can actually write directly in any of these APIs. Big changes in terms of the API stack is what these devices have in terms of sensors. So if you take today's PCs, they've all got these things built into them, accelerometers, GPSs, gyros. So, you know, as a developer, you want to be able to utilize these, you know, shake to refresh. Great in the gaming industry, you know. Played a racing game, you know, or alternate game. You've got rotate. What happens when you turn the device? What happens to the interaction? Do you want the screen to rotate? Do you want the orientation to change? Do you want to use that as part of your game? Again, flip to view, light sensors. You know, do you want automatic brightness controls in your apps? so it senses what the ambient light settings are in the environment the user's playing in. Location awareness, you're building location awareness into your game sets. And again, connectivity, you know, do you want Wi-Fi, do you want 3G, do you want prompting when a user changes connectivity state? Really important if you're thinking about in-app purchase, you know, 20 meg map upgrade, and the user walks out of his Wi-Fi zone into a 3G zone, and he gets a £1,000 bill because he's just done a map upgrade and new levels. So you've got to think about this, and this is why we provide these APIs there so you can build in the function. So the key thing is, it doesn't matter what you use. It doesn't matter what camp you've sat in before in terms of development. All these work on the new interface. And it becomes natural because you're all used to using Visual Studio, hopefully. So how many of you are Visual Studio users? Anybody using anything else? Clips? A few of you? You know, hopefully you'll move to Visual Studio. There's free versions out there. So Windows Phone 8, okay, and the Windows Phone runtime, so it's WinPRT. Big key difference is P for phone. So, if we break this down into different layers, so the phone runtime we try to split up into 3 distinct camps. So we've got the managed codes, the .NET API layer. We've got the Windows Phone runtime running managed, and then we've got the Win32 and COM for running native. So if we break these down into current sections for Windows Phone 7 developers, Windows Phone 7 developers were in the completely managed section. So that was the XNA, C#, Silverlight, no other choice. You had to adapt your code. Within Windows Phone 8, it now sits across these. So you can carry on using your XNA, your C#, and your Silverlight, and it runs on a Windows 8 app. What that does, it makes those 120,000 apps that are out there for Windows Phone 7 work on a Windows Phone 8 device. So that means happy developers. You don't have to go and re-encode everything, make it available in your new store. It's just there. But what it also does, it allows those developers who've built really nice XNA games to think, okay, I've got this really great XNA game, and I've got an XNA game on Xbox Indie Channel. But now I can add in-app purchasing. Or I can add a bit more to that app to make it a Windows 8 app. Windows Phone 8. We've then got Windows Phone 7, C# and 3D. So you can start writing direct 3D. And then you've got the DirectX 3D C++. So it allows you to go from being a Windows Phone 7.1 all the way over to being 7.8 with the same solution potentially using mixed codes. So in terms of the managed API, key big differences that we've added into there. We've added in a wallet. Very key for that monetization of apps. You know, it's giving you an ability to make purchases. We've added in extra tasks, media share tasks, so you can share media between apps. Again, that can be really interesting from a gaming perspective. You know, you can take a picture, and the picture automatically becomes the background to your game, so that it changes the entire user gameplay. Again, you know, think about how you could share that content out to other people. Everybody lives in this social world now, but you know, being able to share things between it. So you know, you've just got an achievement in this game, it goes off to Xbox Live, it goes off to Facebook, it goes off to Twitter. Location awareness being built into the app. Again, the use of external storage, which is a great opportunity. You know, these devices can now take extra SD cards up to 64 gig. So you're taking a very, you know, quite a powerful device around you know, with lots of storage on there. Networking will now support IPv6 as well, which is another great opportunity in terms of where we're going in terms of IP in the industry. In terms of the managed code base, you know, as I was saying, there's a lot of differences between the different API sets. There's 11,000 WinRT APIs out there. There's 2,600 which have been added. You know, so specific ones are, as I was saying earlier, speech recognition. The way you use your phone is going to be really different in the future, you know, dictating to the phone, automated voice interaction. We're going to be looking at how you're going to use networking and VoIP. You know, so who uses Skype? So most people use Skype, okay? You know, in terms of Skype, think about how you want to interact with that device. You know, like you're just doing a call today or a video chat. But what other things could you build into that? So Skype in gaming is a really interesting one. You know, Skype in business collaboration, being able to Skype directly within your office, office solution. Again, looking at how you can capture personal information and protect personal information, encrypt that data. Make sure that that personal information is secure and taken with that person, or actually secured on a different part of the device. Think of the government regulations and exposure there. Other key ones, lock screen and lock screen manager. So when the device is locked, you can actually interact with that directly. Not really suitable for a game, or you could have, this person has now just joined the game, would you like to continue playing? But more from a business app perspective, or an app perspective where you can give direct information like news updates or notifications directly to the user on the lock screen without them having to log in. Again, we've given this choice for developers, so it doesn't really matter what you use, you can switch between them and have the choice of accessing those API layers. So in terms of the native environment, so how many of you are native devs at the moment? I'm presuming most of you are because you're game devs. So if you were thinking about building a game today for a platform, how would you start out? Would you say which platform I'm going to build for, hopefully? Yeah? And then what process would you take? Would you start building libraries or a framework or anybody? So with native code, that allows you to actually build that base framework. You don't have to think about device shape like technology you're using. I'm going to use C++. I'm going to go and use somebody else's framework. I'm going to build my own framework. I'm going to build my own framework. You can build it now. You can make it as a shared code base. You can build a framework for Windows Phone, Windows 8 as one framework. Because you're using C++, so you can call it. So what are the key differences? If you take phone, screen size is the #1 key difference. So we support 3 resolutions within phone. So we go all the way from 800 before 80, all the way up to 128.768. So that is really a differential pricing point for the devices. So you take Nokia 620, which is going to be the cheapest chips, it's aimed at the pay-as-you-go market, that's going to be running at a lower screen resolution. But it's going to have the same amount of memory. So as an app developer, you need to make sure that you cope with all these 3 screen resolutions. In the tool, we allow you to do that. So if you're using Visual Studio, it allows you to test for all these different screen resolutions. It will support portrait and landscape. The user can use the device in whichever orientation he wants. With Windows 8, you have to build from 1024x768 up. That's our only requirement in terms of screen resolution. Most people are running 17-inch monitors, 1024x768, fine. Again, you need to be able to support portrait and landscape. Because you don't know if this is going to be a laptop, a slate, or a Surface device, or an all-in-one. Even the new all-in-ones rotate. The new desktops, the actual screens rotate on them. In terms of controls, we're sticking with the existing controls for phone. So that's a panorama, which is a big screen that you swipe across. It's a left to right motion. A pivot list, and a list picker. In terms of Windows, we supply the following views. So we've got grid view, list view, and semantic view, so semantic zoom. So, real key examples of semantic zoom is where you have a level selector on a game. So you start levels, you get a panorama view, which you can swipe backwards and forwards to pick the right level. And then you can do semantic zoom, it might take you to the achievement screen. So you do semantic view and you can see the entire levels and what score you got on each level. You can semantic zoom back out and you pick your level. So what we're trying to do is build games and build experiences that are taking people through hundreds of layers of different menu systems. Our recommendation is you don't go more than 5 screens to any app. You want that to become immersive. And again, the designers in the room, we provide all those designs and style templates for you as designers to really build beautiful apps. So has anybody looked at Cocktail Flow? I'd say, it doesn't matter what platform you've got, right? Just download Cocktail Flow. It's absolutely beautiful. It's on everything. But the way their designers have worked with the UIs on every platform is amazing. It really does look beautiful. Again, life cycles. Does everybody work? Who's a mobile dev? Okay, so you're all used to working with life cycles. To a traditional developer, that was just alien. They don't have that concept of being, start, app running, app suspends, app terminates, app resumes. Where, you know, we're in a mobile environment now. You could be using this device and you can't, you know, is it a phone, is it a Surface, is it a Windows PC? How do people switch between the apps? They don't close them anymore. So the OS is managing the app lifecycle. So again, we provide APIs that you can draw into the app lifecycle. So your app, when it does, you know, if it's a mobile app, somebody takes a phone call in mid-game, it saves a state of that game. So when the person hangs the phone up, you've got a pause screen. You can carry on playing, you've not lost your current achievement, you're not starting the game again. Pretty simple stuff, but to a lot of, you know, traditional developers, no concept of that. Because, you know, you open that, you close it. Other key things for designers, you know, think about how the devices are being used. Phones, traditionally one-handed. PCs, you know, two-handed, could be on your knee, could be one finger. Again, you know, think about how people are interacting with it. You know, there's no guarantee of what the hardware is on a PC. So you could have somebody running an Intel system on a chip tablet, up to that 16 gig monster box. With phone, you're guaranteed. So you know that emulator, what you have in the solution, will test your RAM. Again, you know, try and avoid the clutter on the screen and the layout. So if you go to design.windowsphone.com or design.windows.com, loads of design templates, all there waiting for you. You know, grid layouts, list layouts, picker layouts, tool layouts. So has anybody heard of Telerik? So Telerik do some amazing tool sets that you can just literally download. So there's grids, charts, forms, list pickers, selection boxes, and they're in HTML5, JavaScript, C#. You know, you just literally download it and plug it in. It makes your app look beautiful. You didn't have to do anything. That easy. Again, you know, think about how your user interacts with that app. So where does the app bar sit within it? Does it sit at the top of the app? Does it sit at the bottom of the app? What happens when you select the app bar? Does it invoke any of those special functions within Windows 8, such as search and share contracts? So really good examples in game. You know, you could be playing a game, and you could swipe in on the charm section and share that, you know, result or achievement or progress, or even to a different device. So has everybody seen Play 2 yet? And we played with it. Who's got a new smart screen TV? Have you got a new smart TV? Have you used it properly yet?
Not really.
Not really. So what there's a new function that's built in DNLA. Everybody knows about DNLA, yeah? Okay, so with Windows 8, we have an API set called Play 2. So with any Windows 8 device, you can swipe into the share charm, say Play 2, and if you've got a smart screen TV in the house or an internet-connected device, it will be automatically displayed because it's DNLA capable. So you could be watching a film on your laptop, swipe across, Play 2, and again on the phone you can do this, and it plays it directly to your TV. So it takes the content from where you are to that TV and your experience changes. You then got the opportunity to this thing called second screen experience. So when you've done that Play 2, you invoke another app on the device to provide that extra level of content to the end user. So you could be watching Top Gear, or you could be playing a game, and you do center device, and then you've got that extra level. So you've got the narrative, you've got the achievement, you've got a bit of history about what the game's about. You know, you're playing Lord of the Rings, these are the different characters. Would you like to buy that in-app purchase? Again, you know, it changes the gaming aspect. So my kids use it at home, and they were playing with it last week on Forza Horizon. I was sat there watching them both. And one was playing the game on the Xbox, and the other one had a Surface. And on the actual Surface, when you do the Play 2 command, it shows you the telekinematics of where you are. So you've got a map layout, and you can see the history of the track, and you can see the different lap times, you can see, you know, so one was like showing out, you know, you've got 3 seconds to go before he catches you. But, you know, it's changed that gameplay and that interaction with the end users. And again, you know, that's going to really impact TV and media. And then you can do things like audio sync. So you can be watching a film, and the actual content is changing automatically to the narrative of the film because the mic on the device is picking that up. So it knows where you are, what characters it's talking about, would you like to buy that dress you're currently watching on the clothes show, etc. So in terms of a tool set, you know, a lot of you using Visual Studio 2012. All these templates are built into Visual Studio 2012, Windows 8 and Windows Phone 8. Again, key things, templates. even supporting C++. You know, that's a big one for the phone aspect, so those developers want opportunity. This command line tools. So anybody play with PowerShell? So PowerShell is there, so you can build scripts, scriptlets to actually invoke commands. Again, for the IT guys, it allows you to do application deployment and rollout. Links automatically with System Center, Operations Manager, Intune, so you can manage what applications people have on the devices. Again, you can do CPU profiling. You know, let's test what this code runs like, what it runs like, what's the performance. You can do really clever things like remote deploy. So you can test, because you know this is an RT device, it's ARM, it doesn't run Intel, so it can't run any Windows 2 apps. But you can deploy applications remotely from an Intel device running Visual Studio onto an RT device to check that performance. So you deploy the app to the RT device, profile it, make sure it runs okay, bring the app off from an Intel machine. So this is what the new IDE looks like. And again, everybody use XAML? Anybody use Silverlight? One person. Don't have to be abused today. So, you know, Silverlight is now gone, XAML is its replacement, but everything you learned doing Silverlight is basically XAML. So it's not a huge learning curve. He's not saying it, so you can't do that. You know, so we've got this product now which is an IDE. It's got your solutions in it, it's got your code layouts, it's also got a visual representation. So instead of you having to do that deep dive into XAML, you can just use drag and drop. You know, so it's allowing you to build those really nice layouts. Again, we've got a product called Blend. Anybody use Blend yet? Okay, so if you're a designer, use Blend. Visual Studio and Blend now work in unison, so you can have your designers using Blend to build an UI and UX experience, your developers writing the back end, the designer saves the Blend solution, which automatically updates Visual Studio, so the decoder sees the UI change, adds the actions behind the boxes, the buttons, etc. You know, designers can be designers, devs can be devs. Again, you know, really, really neat. You can also code directly into Blend, because what we found is a lot of designers are also really good at web. You know, because they come from that camp HTML5 JavaScript, so they don't want to be jumping into Visual Studio. So let's let them use Blend to do everything. And a lot of designers really like that. Yeah? No? Do you like that? No? Okay, no, that's good. Okay, so HTML5. HTML5 is now supported on phone. But it's not supported under a native view, it's actually supported under a web view, which gets quite interesting. So, phone actually runs IE10. So what it does, it creates a web view in a web browser and wraps that within your apps. It's a web view within the app. So lots of third-party frameworks, Construct 2 and GameMaker are probably the biggest gaming frameworks that have really adopted HTML5. So it allows you to run apps on top of those. So you can build a game in Construct as a HTML5 web app, and then it gets rewrapped to the phone as a web view. Key things to know about HTML5 at the moment of phone is audio support. So has anybody played with HTML5 yet on mobile devices? Smiling people over there. Any issues you found up to now? Audio problem?
Yes, it doesn't work very well.
Doesn't work very well. Very, very true, unless you're doing X Audio 2. So we've actually got 3 ways of doing this. You use X Audio 2 for your audio channels. You use the IMF engine for your background sound effects, and it works okay. But if you try and do everything as a standard XNA way, it actually only allows you to play one channel, which is not very good for a game. So, a bit jerky. Yeah, so lots of work to be done on HTML5. What we've done is we're part of W3C, so we've got lots of we don't want to go out and create a lot of new standards, and nobody wants to do that anymore. So we're trying to work with them to create a single standard for audio, and you know the discussions are happening at the moment. But there's lots of plugins being developed in the interim from the open source community. Everybody who has a Windows Phone device, you connect it and actually load Zoom at the moment. So that's the 7.1. So have you got Windows Phone 7.1? So Zoom is the way of deploying at the moment to Windows Phone 7.1. That is now gone with Windows 8. So Windows 8 now is actually a storage-based device as well. So if you plug your phone into your PC, it appears as a drive, and we've got an extra client that then you can do music syncing, etc., which has made life a lot easier. The big issue before is with 7.1 you needed Zoom to do any deployment or activation devices, which created lots of problems with people who had Macs.
Do you mean main code 7.5?
7.5, yeah. Yeah, sorry. Did that say 7.1 stuff? Up to 7.5, yeah. Or 7.8 will also use Zoom. So if you've got Windows on 7.5. Phone developers. So as a developer, you buy a developer account, which costs you, I think it's $99? 65 pounds, yeah. That allows you to activate any device. You simply plug the device in, you go to the developer tools, that allows you to slide load applications onto the device. So it's quite key. To be honest, we've got a really great emulator, but if you're thinking about accelerometer, gyro support, you then need to have a device to make sure that really does work. You can spoof it in the emulator, but if you want to really test it, we advise actually deploying to a real device. You can actually unlock 3 devices as well. So as any developer, 3 devices unlocked. Windows 8 is very similar. You can basically register a machine to unlock, to sideload using a developer account. Again, that's limited to 5 devices. You just basically need a live account, so a Microsoft account, so a live ID for those who've already got one, which is then associated to a developer account. In terms of emulators, we have emulators built into Visual Studio for all the different phone types. So you can launch WVGA, Emulator 720, WGA, or WXGA. So all the different devices are supported under emulator. The emulator actually runs a full Hyper-V copy of the Windows Phone OS. So we're giving you a full OS to test upon. So that's what I'm saying, the emulators are really good. It is the real OS, and when we patch the live OS, the development gets patched as well. So you always go to the latest revision. With Windows 8, we also provide you an emulator. And those emulators as well like to do orientation, accelerometer spoofing, GPS spoofing, network spoofing, etc. Again, if you sideload the device, the applications reside on the device, but you are limited to the number of applications you can sideload onto the device. Because we don't just want you to just keep sideloading, we want you to put them installed. Again, you can debug on the device, and you can profile the device. So the device is set up as a real device, so they're given as a virtual machine, a single core. So if you're running a multiple core box, you get allocated a single core on the same amount of memory, so a gig. So that the performance is pretty realistic to using a real device. So this is what the emulator looks like. Again, you can actually skin these emulators as well. It's a really nice free-party plugin, so you can make it like a Nokia Lumia or a HTC or a Samsung device. Again, it's great if you're doing demos to people instead of it just looking very bland. It looks like quite a nice looking device on your screen. And again, it's great to do demos via that than a device because people can't see it. So again, as you said, emulator performance is limited, and emulators are provided for both. So an overview of Windows Phone, what's included. So key things are new tiles and template sizes. So what we've done on Windows Phone 8 is actually created these 3 different size tiles. So anybody who's used Windows Phone 7.5, we provided 2 size tiles, so a small tile and a big tile. There's no choice. Now we provide 3 sizes. Again, provide ways the end user can interact with these tiles. So this is about providing that live information, so flipping the tile to display updates or notifications or changes of them. So a visual representation of what you want to portray to the end user. Is somebody new beating their high score record? Is somebody new joining that game? Again, key things about the lock screen. We provide this instant interaction with the lock screen. So when you actually look at your device immediately, you've got that input. You've got that notification from the app. Also, being able to actually deliver that app to the surface. So for example, when the screen's locked, you can take a Bing image or a service and display that as a background image. New launchers. So launchers are really key to the phone environment. This is really enabling you as a developer to call specific systems or functions on the device. So again, a new API strings to be able to launch those different services. Just makes your life easy. You don't have to try and create something that fires a new email or sends a text message. Mapping, so we've got built-in maps now, and that's actually provided by Nokia on all the new devices. So that's using the Nokia NavX. Again, Nokia on all their devices ship built-in GPS and sat-nav, which is quite neat as well. Again, location tracking. As I said before, we've got to support anything that you've done as a previous developer. So anything that you wrote for anything from 7 upwards is still supported, but we brought out new API sets because of the Nokia implementation. Speech is a really important function. So, you know, most commands, and then the whole text-to-speech APIs. I use this all the time in the car, you know, so basically my car says to me, you know, you got a new text message, these are text messages out to me, drive a potty, then it says, you know, do you want to reply, and if I speak, it actually sends a text back, so it converts my voice to text, and then I always get the text back going, are you driving? And I go, yes, you know, but it's so handy if you think about it, and that also works with email now as well, so you can do automated voice email. We've just, I think we announced it yesterday or this morning that we've got a partnership with BMW on Ford. So this is going to be built into all the new cars as well. Wallet, really important one. So the key things that we've offered in Wallet are loyalty. So that's the ability to build up your loyalty card. So I'm an American Airlines flyer and a BA flyer, so I can now carry my loyalty card around with me on my device. There's automatic check-in, etc. So it carries all my details and all my records there. Again, it's all secure, protected because these are encrypted devices now. Gives you access to any saved data from your loyalty. So you know you can instead of having to connect to a third-party web service, it can all be stored locally on your device. I don't know if anybody else, when you go to airports, it's generally not good coverage. You know, you're trying to get a 3D barcode out, you usually struggle. NFC is fully supported now. So you can do tap to pay and you can do tap to send, and that's supported across both platforms. So again, you know, think about NFC in games, lots of opportunity there. Sorry, this has been greyed out, it's got my account details on it, so that's why it's got little grey things on it. Again, you know, so you can do deals, think about NFC, and you know, anybody seen new Intel display systems? So the interactive display systems that are going to a lot of shopping malls where you literally walk up to it and you think it's a standard billboard sign, but then it actually recognises you and presents information that it thinks you want or need. It can look at the clothing you're wearing or your weight and your size and present adverts based on you. So there's lots of new technology that's coming out that, you know, has lots of potential for us. New UI controls. So, you know, as I was saying before, we want this to be an immersive experience for end users. And we don't want to have a jarred experience. So what we want to be able to do is, you know, the long list selector is the first screen, so you know, it's literally a list of data. Then we drop into the pivot and panorama, so for the ability to slide backwards and forwards. Again, the name picker, so you know, you've got the alphabetical listing. So different ways of interacting with the data, again, all there within the API. In terms of screen resolutions, just to confirm those different screen resolutions, you know, WVGA 800 before 80, so it's 15.9. Then WXGA 128 768, so 15.9, and then 720p going up to 128 720 is 16 bit. So all the devices are clearly labelled what the segment they sit into. The premium exclusive devices sit at 720p, so that's like Nokia Lumia 920, HTC 8X. And then the lower range devices, the WGA, the Nokia 610, which is probably going to retail about 100 quid, 130 pounds, something like that. Cameras and photos. So, yeah, loads of changes to the way we're doing photos and camera now. You know, Nokia's made this big deal about how they built in this new lens, which the camera is absolutely amazing on it. We've got new picture APIs and image thumbnail previews. And again, that allows you to actually send to cloud as well. So there's an API there to where you want the image to be stored or saved to. So lots of opportunity there. This is really general app stuff. Again, you know, would you be using camera within a game? Might do if it's an augmented reality game. So media, again, changes to media. So we've got a music library now. Again, you can use an SD card for your music library. So it allows people to increase their music collection. So instead of having the music on the device, you've got a separate storage device. Again, pictures, music libraries, and media libraries, you can get thumbnails from them, you can do get pictures, so you can actually start displaying really nice interaction with your apps. Instead of just a list picker, you've got a nice thumbnail video. And you get background audio, so this changes the background audio to how it can be played. Networking enhancements, so IPv6, new networking APIs. Windsock is now supported natively, which is quite a nice new feature. So storage, SD card support. You can install micro SD cards into certain devices, not all devices. Key ones, monetization. Let's go to the interesting stuff. So, key real opportunity here is for you to make money. How many of you today produce free apps, so freemium? And you just generally use an advertisement, or you're doing an app? So you're doing in-game, okay, so you're doing that purchasing. Okay, so you've got that opportunity now, so you've got the extended reach, the upsell, and to be able to customize. So real things are in-app purchasing now available. So you can define the item, you can integrate the item into the actual game itself. You can choose countries and pricing, which is quite a neat one. So you can actually make your app globally available, have a different pricing skew for each of your countries or segments. And again, you might want to sell certain items in certain countries, which you could never do before. Again, other key ones are the manage, monitor, and respond. So that's really about how you want to sell that item, what notifications you want to give back to that user. Key things for in-app purchasing is it's assigned to the live ID. So, for example, as I was saying before, you can deploy an application to 3 devices under Windows Phone. So an in-app purchase goes to 3 devices, and with Windows 8 it goes to 5 devices. The reasons for doing that is really family sales. You could be a parent with 3 or 5 children, and you buy them all a device, you don't want to buy the app 5 times for your family. Mixed response from the development community, I have to be honest. But we've just thought that as a fairer option for the way people generally operate today. And we've put in those settings in terms of family safety and family security. So as a parent, you can control your kids' accounts, what they can buy, what they can't buy, what they can play, when they can play. Other real interesting ones, digital assets. So durable and non-durable items. So durable and consumable. So buy once, own forever. Or buy something, use something, have to rebuy. So great options again for gaming. Real key things again is embedded on the device. I think somebody asked me this early on, or remotely stored. So again, we've got cloud-based services now that actually consume gaming content. So using Windows Azure and the Azure Mobile Services Toolkit, you can host content directly in the cloud. And that can be single repository, so it doesn't matter what platform. It just goes to one repository, one account, has a ton of there. So Games Hub. A few Xbox people, so everybody knows what Game Hub is. Games Hub is a key to Xbox. It's your user account. So within Xbox, we've completely re-architected Xbox Live services. So Xbox Live now is asynchronous. So it doesn't matter what Windows device you're playing on. If you're playing on Windows Phone, Windows 8, or Xbox, you connect into the same infrastructure. So what that means is that gaming experience goes with you. Your user account, so I can log into Xbox Live on my phone, and it will give me my profile, give me my game account, my gamer points, my achievements, tell me who my friends are playing. I've got a smart glass client, so I can log into my Xbox and control my Xbox from my device. It allows the new titles to have that asynchronous gaming aspect. So my kids can be at home playing on Xbox, I can play on a mobile device, playing the same game, earning the same points, having that same interaction. So why have we done this? Key thing is that Xbox is huge, 70 million users. Windows is bigger, it's 1 billion users, remember. So there's an opportunity to get 1 billion people into gaming. So, key things there, is this ability to play anywhere. And this is so key to the way society is changing. My gaming habits have really changed. I think a few years ago, AAA console, sit down for a few hours, £50 on a game, 6 to 18 hours game completed. Don't have the time to do that anymore. Wish I did. My gaming now is a lot more infrequent. 5-minute bus stop games I'm generally playing at the moment. So, you know, Jetpack Joyride, you know, Splend, what's the other one I'm really playing at the moment? Chimpact, or Jagex, things like, you know, so really instant, tangible gamer glorification, you know, do something for 5 minutes, get 120G. And that's really changing the way people want to play on these devices. But it's amazing when you actually start to speak about gameplay. You know, so I'll ask the question to you, why do you play games? Is it the enjoyment of playing the game, or is it the achievement of playing that game? And have you got an answer? Enjoyment. Not achievement.
Yeah, some people enjoy achieving.
Oh, well, that's a good one. It's really interesting, okay, so if you look at demographics, anybody over 25 generally says it's the gameplay. Anybody under 25 says it's the achievement or the bragging rights. You know, my son does it, he goes on Xbox, and the first thing he does a compare. Oh, they've got that game and they've got more G than me. Game goes on. And he's on Skype, I've beaten you! You know, but so it's amazing how that changes, but if you think about it, you know, that's really making your game tacky. Because, you know, what's creating that exposure point? You know, Marketplace is now hundreds of thousands of apps in them. But the tackiness is that kid ringing his mate who says, I'll beat you on this, and he goes, I've not got that game, and downloads it. And then he tells his friend, and that's, you know, 100 downloads, Facebook explosion, 1,000 downloads, bit of Twitter, 1 million downloads. And that's what's really driving gaming now. You know, Kids Corner, so I don't know if anybody's seen the Holly Willy Billy advert. So, one of the questions I always got from my kids when they were younger was, Dad, I want to play the phone. You know, yeah, just, how many people have done that with their children? To, here, have a game. Well, you've all done it. Yeah? Anybody's got kids has done that. How many times has your kid deleted your device or sent an email or made a phone call on it to somebody they shouldn't have done? By accident? Never, right? Not really. Yeah, once or twice. It does happen, okay. So what we've done is actually built into the device a thing called Kids Corner. So it's quite difficult to show in this device. So this is my device. It's a Windows phone device. It's a Nokia device. So lock screen, instant notifications. It's giving me the day. It's giving me my activities. It's telling me how many emails I've got in red. So if my child said to me, Dad, I want to play on the phone, I just literally swipe left and I go into Kids Corner. So what Kids Corner is actually a hypervisor on the device. So this is running a virtual OS image on this device. I'm not going to So it's running a hypervisor on the device, which only has the apps that my children want to play. So they can't do anything else. This is a virtualized OS, just running these games. They can't go anywhere else. If they turn the device off and back on again, it comes back to the lock screen. There's a pin code on it, can't do anything. Swipe left, Kids Corner. So I can give that to any child now, and I know what they're playing, I know what they're doing on it, they can't do anything else. So, you know, it's been a real key selling point for us, that, in terms of providing that device that you can give to your child with some security and reassurance.
What happens when the phone rings?
What happens when the phone rings? It still rings, but they can't answer it.
They can't.
No, it goes back to the lock screen, which is quite good. So, you know, what we're trying to do with Xbox is build world-class games. So, does anybody see the announcement last week by Phil Harrison from Xbox Studios? So, we've built a brand new studio in London called Light. It was classed as New London Studios in its inception phase, which was announced at London Games Conference. But Light will be only building games for mobiles. It's building games for Windows 8 on Windows Phone and SmartBox, which is the layer that's between. So, you know, there's going to be lots of new exciting titles that will be Xbox Live enabled. Next one, in-app purchasing, so monetizing our apps. I wanted to quickly show you this little walkthrough. So this is a game where we're doing a sale just to try and demonstrate how easy it is to add this to your functionality. So the person says yes, you build a purchasing screen, so you've got an icon, you've got the published details, you've got the app information, the product information. You then want to buy it. So anybody got an iOS device at the moment? Has anybody got a child who's run up a credit card bill on that device for you? You've all been sensible and put passwords in, haven't you? Good. download. So the best story I've had up to now is a child who's done about £250 in about 2 minutes with in-app purchasing. He's going into it, because I don't know if you all know, but iOS has a 15-minute window. So if you download an app, there's a 15-minute window before your password switches on. So, yeah. You used to use that as a little loophole, didn't you, in your app? So lots of developers actually build that entire app. So as soon as they downloaded it, it used to prompt for in-app purchasing for the first 15 minutes. Because what would happen is a parent would download it, give it to a child, walk away, and the child would go, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you know, what we've done is slightly change that to now you have to buy, immediately you're prompted for a PIN. So that's a secure PIN, so you type in your PIN, hopefully a bit more secure than that PIN. And it automatically buys the item. What happens as well, it sends back a receipt to the device. So you have two options as a developer. You can either just say, yeah, it's a receipt for this in-app purchase, or it's, you know, it's a consumable purchase, so it's a receipt and it takes off your counter. Again, you know, you can actually set it so you can't use that receipt on any other device as well. So this is New London Studio. So this is the focus. You know, we've got Xbox Studios now building for Xbox. Building for Smart Glass, which is our bridging layer for both phone and Windows 8. So Smart Glass, has anybody looked at Smart Glass? So Smart Glass, the key thing about it is we actually support all devices. So Smart Glass is that second screen bridging layer. Real key things are, you know, we try to differentiate it from the Microsoft products by creating this immersive experience. So you get that full interaction. Again, for the Android and iOS, we've slightly changed it so you can get to certain services, but you can't play Xbox games, for example, on an iPad. So the real key things about Smart Glass, you know, from a third-party gaming vendor perspective. So is anybody a third-party publisher? No? Okay, so the third-party publishers who are doing deals can really start enhancing the platform. You know, so they can sell a AAA title which has some really nice functionality, so that full immersive second screen experience built into it. Again, built-in enhancements in terms of how you expose data, so we were saying before about Forza Horizons, you know, that whole interactions of what the map is of the game, what the speed in the game is, what the player activity is, what the online player activity is. You've got media controls and services, so you can use your smart glass device as that second controller. You know, so you're watching Love Film on your Xbox, you take the Love Film with you, it's got all that information with you so you can carry on that experience. It's an immersive experience. And again, you've got the core services there, you know, so that's really about providing information on the game, the staff, the friends, the contacts, what their achievements are, what the current gamer point ratings are. So in terms of how we try and break this up, we try and break it up under entertainment and gaming. Now these are becoming more closely aligned. So in terms of gaming, you know, you've got your secrets, you've got your cards, you've got your sports, you've got your interactive level maps, real-time information about the game. So, you know, think about this in terms of a multiplayer gaming environment where you could be playing a game using the standard Xbox controller, but somebody else could have a Surface or a phone device where they're actually taking part in this game. But instead of, you know, distracting away from your on-screen experience, they're playing they're playing a mini-game within that experience. But they may have to complete that mini-game and experience before you can progress in the game. Again, you know, it's taking that person who's currently sat on your couch wanting the Xbox controller to be giving them something that makes them immersive. And again, you know, there's lots of people out there, my wife's number one, who, you know, don't like playing games, but they like playing mobile games because they don't feel it's playing a game, because they're only playing it for 5 minutes. Don't know if anybody else is like that? But, you know, so it's bringing them into that experience. So this is a panorama, an example of a panorama. So as I was saying, it's a one big screenshot that is literally broken up by the device. The user slides through and it changes the screen. So this is what's typically displayed in that discovery experience. So for example, anybody got Halo 4? Xbox players? Okay, so Waypoint. Does everybody know about Halo Waypoint? No. Okay, so Halo Waypoint is an app. And it's an experience, it's not just an app, it's a web experience. So you can go to Waypoint online and log in using your Xbox credentials. And if you're an Xbox player and you're playing Halo, it'll automatically customise to your environment. It makes you a Spartan And it's your Spartan control center, so you can change your outfit and you can see your achievements and your training plan and how well you progress through the game. But there's also a lot of interactive media there. So there's this thing called, which we'll launch called Forward to Dawn, which is basically a mini-series. It's a proper TV quality, film quality story of Halo and where Master Chief came from and how Infinity started. So you can immerse yourself in that experience. Again, if you're actually playing the game and you've got this device and smart glass, that waypoint experience is brought into the device. So you can play in the game, looking at your current achievements, looking a bit about the scenescape on the game, who are the designers, you know, what's the story behind this, what's the detail behind it. And you know, a lot of the traditional AAA games are really, you know, they're hardcore, aren't they? Look how many Star Trek fans are out there. This is a way of, you know, really capitalising on that consumer purchase activity. It's a way of creating a new portal into new area, you know, new user buying habits. So lots of interesting things around there. Again, you know, friends, that ability to, you know, to get this viral messaging going. So what happens is when you go into your friends, you can actually see what your friends are currently doing now. Is anybody playing Xbox? What are they playing? Do you want to set up a beacon announcement? So beacons are basically gameplay sessions. So, you know, do you want to play on Tuesday at 9 o'clock? What game do you want to play? Well, these are the games that you currently have available in your catalogue. Right, let's all play, you know, COD, or let's play Forza, or let's play whatever. It doesn't matter. You can set that up off the device, and at 9 o'clock, your Xbox fires up automatically because you've walked into your house. It knows you've got a smart glass. It knows that's a controller. Your Xbox fires up, loads a game, and away you go. And you know, it does sound a bit futuristic, but it's there today. This is what's happening now. This technology is available. And it's, you know, how do you take advantage of this? So, you know, the smart glass experience is really about, you know, gesture-based navigation, so you can control your Xbox from your device by, you know, left, right, pan in, pan out, semantic zoom. We're building Internet Explorer now into Xbox, so you can use this as a virtual keyboard. So, you know, really difficult to type. I hate joypads to type. I don't know if anybody else has that experience. Or you buy a little keyboard joy thing that sits on your joypad. Now you can just use a laptop or a device. Just take an internet into your living room. You know, text input, really important. Video guide, having that extra narrative, what is going on in this experience, or this episode, or this film. Again, music guides, bringing that extra layer of detail. You like this album, why don't you buy this album? You like this type of music, would you try this type of music? So as I said earlier, you know, as Microsoft, we're building this for every platform, apart from BlackBerry at this point. There might be something announced, but you know, we're trying to differentiate this. So in terms of Apple and iOS, in terms of Android and iOS, you know, Xbox services is available as an app, so it's a native app in their stores that you can download, which is signed by Microsoft. You can't play, and you can't get achievements, but there is a strong games catalogue there. So again, you can make that purchase for your Xbox. You know, you're looking at Angry Meat Boy or other indie titles, you can purchase them off that device, they're there waiting for you in your download queue. So getting these tools, really simple. So if you don't have a copy of Windows 8, so you're not under an enterprise licensing SKU, or you don't have access, you can download them directly from dev.windows or dev.windowsphone.com. You get 90-day evaluations of Windows from that site, and you get a free copy of Visual Studio Express if you haven't got Visual Studio, which you can build any commercial app on. You know, there's no limitations to using that product. If you want an app account, you go to create.msdn.com, which redirects to dev.windowsphone.com, or you go to dev.windows.com for Windows. So, you know, really, from our perspective, we try to build as much community support in there. There's tons of documentation and walkthroughs and samples and tutorials, and again, in Visual Studio, they're actually built into the product. So this is what's really nice about Visual Studio 2012. Instead of before where you used to have to go off to MSDN and try and do searches, we've made it really easy. So when you do File, New Project, if you scroll down on the left-hand side and do templates or samples, if you click templates and samples and you've got an internet connection, it goes online to MSDN, you do a search directly within Visual Studio, and it actually loads a solution sample into Visual Studio. And that is, you know, that's such an improvement, such an, you know, it used to be a nightmare going to MSDN and trying to find a sample or solution. So this is the Dev Center. You know, it gives you all that information. You can view the samples on here as well, and it will download them, and then you've got to install them to your projects folder. But I recommend, you know, use Visual Studio 2012 directly for that. You know, again, is anybody a student in the room? Anybody at college, university? All students get free access, so they get all the products for free, and they get a developer account for free, which is really good for them. So, so if you've got kids who are students, just go to dreamspark.com and you can download everything. Key things about the desktop, okay, so this is for Windows Phone 8. You have to have a PC that has these specifications. So the key things are, it has to be 64-bit, 8 gig of free disk, 4 gig of memory. The real key thing is this thing called SLAT, so second level address translation. So does anybody know about SLAT? So SLAT is basically allows you to run a hypervisor on the desktop. So it's a method of accessing the chipset. Anything above an i3 supports SLAT. You might find that some of the older kit doesn't support SLAT, but there's this gentleman down here said SLAT kit is becoming cheaper. You pay $300
yeah,
for
that's
your
with
laptop.
an AMD chip.
AMD chip, yeah. So it's Intel or AMD. Any of the new processors step in line support SLAT. You can actually download a free tool.
And Windows 8 Pro. Make sure you get Pro.
Yeah, you need Windows 8 Pro to do this. So if you buy a piece of kit and it's got Windows 8 Home Edition on it, it's not going to work. You need Pro. Thank you for that. That's a key point. You can actually download this tool called sysinternals core info. You just run it. It's a simple PowerShell script. You just run it and it tells you if your machine's supported. But most machines today aren't supported. So anything i3. And it gives you this little screenshot that says supports Intel extended page tables. If it says that, great, you can install. If it installs and you can't run the emulator, obviously unable. Getting a phone developer account, $99. As I said, you know, students get it for free, so it's just dev.windowsphone.com. You need a store account to publish the store. Other key things is our reach on countries. So we now support 180 countries. That's 120 additional countries that have been added since the release. So this was the release back for Windows Phone 7. So we supported 29 countries. We moved up to 63 countries with 7.5. And then with Windows Phone 8, we've now moved up to 180. So as a developer, when you put your app into store, it allows you to select which countries you want your app to be available in and how you want it priced. Again, you can have different pricing SKUs on different regions and different countries. We find lots of developers actually do this and forget to put it into countries. So, for example, we'll log an app to store but only put it in the UK. So it's quite an important point to make that. It's down to you to select which countries you want it to go in. In terms of other platforms, you know, Apple announced 123, Android have got 31 under the Google Play. So we've got the most managed stores, which allow you to get, hopefully, the maximum amount of revenue. So developers, so this is allowing developers to actually build apps. With Windows 7.1 you'll have 38 countries. Windows Phone 8 is 180 countries, so if you're in one of those countries as a developer you can build an app. So previously, you know, if you're in Africa, you could only build, well, you couldn't build for Windows Phone 7. You couldn't get a developer account. No. Languages. Again, does anybody actually use languages, or do you produce everything in English? Does anybody use any other languages? Okay. So languages, we've got 26 new, so under 7.5, this is what was supported. On the Windows Phone 8, we've taken in most of Europe and Asia, which is good. So, in summary, you know, lots of new features, and now is not long enough to go any deep dives into any of this. I'm more than happy to talk about those. Shared core is really important to you. You know, you're not having to develop different solutions for different technologies anymore. The whole opportunity of building on technologies that you're used to. So if you're HTML5 developer or C# developer, C++ developer, you don't have to go out there and learn a new skill. Again, apps built on existing technology, so if you're a current Windows Phone developer, your app doesn't break. It still works, you can still make money from it. So key URLs, if you're interested in doing anything with Windows, windows-store.co.uk, dev.windows.com for anything Windows 8 related, and dev.windows phone for anything phone related. And that's me done. Yeah.
With Smart Glass, is that like an API that you can use in your own apps then?
Yes, it is, yes. If you're interested in building Smart Glass apps, it's a closed route, so you have to contact live@windows.com. If you go to the Xbox Developer Forum, there's a list of URLs and email addresses that you need to contact to say you're interested in doing this. So it's a very closed thing at the moment.
Is that going to open up?
It will open up, yeah. It will open up. So at the moment we're saying third-party publishers get access to everything. Independent publishers can do certain things.
Is text-to-speech you can make it onto Windows 8 from the phone?
I can't say anything on that. I would expect so. And nothing at this point then. Any other questions?
How many Windows Phone users on it?
Users, I don't know the exact numbers of users. Nokia announced that they shipped 4.4 million Windows 8 devices. But we don't have it, I can't really use a figure.
Regarding the Xbox Live and the Windows Phone Live apps, how is this going to merge? Is this going to be also silver membership, golden membership for the Windows Phone?
It's the same membership. So you buy an Xbox Live account. So you can have an Xbox Live account, two options, silver or gold. If you're gold, you can play online. And if you're silver, you can download content. It's the same account. So you log in with your Live ID. So that's a key point actually. So any of the new Microsoft devices, whether they be Windows 8 or Windows Phone, you need a Microsoft account. So what used to be classed as a Live ID to actually to log into the machine.
So to play multiplayer on the Windows Phone, you will need to pay.
You need to have, you need to have gold. Yeah. Yeah.
XNA was sold as the solution before for the Windows 7 mobile games on PC, which is obviously now been phased out. I mean, do you think this stuff will survive till Windows 9, or will there be something else at that stage?
So, that's a good question. At the current, this is what we're saying, our current story is third-party frameworks, which have already announced that they're doing Windows 8 support, or C++ DX. XNA isn't going to go away. It's going to be here for the next few years. If you look at it from a teaching pedagogy perspective, 90% of the gaming courses in the UK teach XNA Year 1, so that's 8,000 students a year who've got XNA skills. I think the community in terms of XNA is going to be really supported by open source. So products like Monogame are just phenomenal in terms of what they're doing at the moment, in terms of the products, taking 2D, 3D, and the whole cross-platform support. But I think, we're really creating really three camps of gaming developers. We've got what I class as like the hobbyist community building things in HTML5 using GameMaker construct. So gaming framework engines, which are very simple to use, so action-based scripting. Then we've got this interim step, which is the traditional computer gaming course developers for the XNA route. Because again, if you give C++ DX to a first year student, the universities will have no students. The attrition rate of students who learn C++ is about 35% of dropout, and universities want bums on seats, so they don't want the dropout rate. So they're not going to immediately switch overnight to that new technology. And again, we've got this opportunity of the third-party framework sitting as this in-betweener. So Unity is a great example, which is very much click, drop, drag, create a really beautiful game. Bit of scripting comes out the back end. So
can you use Monogame to make a Windows 8 Metro style app?
Yeah. So you can build an XNA Xbox game, do the one-click export to phone, which works on version 7 all the way through to 8, and then you can rewrap the asset using Monogame or Windows 8. But potentially you could rewrap the asset as well using Windows Phone 8 and have that all in-app purchasing functionality. So it allows you, and then go to Android and iOS potentially. So, you know, Monogame, so Dominic from Monogame was supposed to be here tonight, but he's stuck in the snow. Yeah, he's stuck in the snow, he emailed me.
Dean might be here.
No, Dean's not here. I've seen him. So Dean and Dominic, I think, are part of your network.
They did a presentation for us in the past.
Really great guys. You know, I've done lots of events with them. And you know, we're really working with that community now. And you know, a lot of our people who wrote XNA are doing lots of open source stuff there. Because it's a great product. We're not saying it's a crap product, we're saying it's a great product, but we need to bring it up the stack. Any other questions?
So people would have the chance to meet them if
yeah, I'm sure
they
they're here.
keep an eye on
Yeah.
who's attending.
Yeah.
So Epic going to do on support for Windows?
Yeah, they've already announced it. Yeah, it's on. If you go to the Epic site, it says coming soon. So they've just not announced a date yet. You know, I think again, you know, if you look at the framework engines, so Unity, Unreal, are taught in our gaming courses, and some of the content is absolutely amazing that the kids are producing. Anything else? I've got. Whoever doesn't ask questions, I'll get some t-shirts about it. Inspire people to ask questions. The Visual Studio ones. Have you got a t-shirt question? Go on.
Can I have a t-shirt?
No, I'm not calling for that one again. Have you got a question? Go on, you can have to answer this question. You asked a question. You have to you can see I'm doing that a lot, don't you?
I did get one of them when I was at university because I answered something, so I don't need one more.
Seriously, anything else you want to ask while I'm here? I've only got 4 hours drive home. No? Is that all? Everybody's put a form in? Yes? You can draw. Stick your hand in and pick a name out.
Mario. It's your lucky night tonight.
Well done. Can't get better than that, can you? Come to an event, you get fun. There you go. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. If anybody wants to chat, I'll be around all day.
We've got this huge space, which is supposed to be a week and lunch, playing chess and stuff.